Hello everybody, this is Dr. Cole. It's Friday night, June 16th. We're going to call this Week 6 for Political Science 1013 for the 7-week summer term. Everybody, I'm going to get this video out early by about 48 hours. So most of you will be seeing it Saturday. Because Monday, our exam will be underway. Exam 3 is going to run Monday and Tuesday, the 19th and 20th, for a total of 48 hours. We wanted to avoid having anybody having to take it on the 19th in case you have something planned for that date, which is a university holiday for Juneteenth. So, you may take it on the 20th if you wish, or the 19th. It'll be open for 48 hours. I should also mention, everybody, we are running our 4th discussion, and the second and last day of that discussion will be Saturday, the 17th, when most of you will be seeing this. It has to do with the FDA as a unit of the federal bureaucracy, an independent regulatory commission. I'd be interested to see if students think the FDA is going too far with the type of regulations being discussed in the article that you've been assigned. So see what you think of that. Some students have posted already, and I got a comment in just a little while ago. Remember, everybody, also, Saturday the 17th, when most of you will be seeing this, is the deadline we gave you to contact me about your term paper topics if you would like to do a term paper. It's not required, but it can help raise your grade. You must notify me of your topic by tomorrow, Saturday the 17th, when many of you will be seeing this. Then the paper itself will be due 2 weeks later on Saturday, July 1st. All right then, everybody. For the exam 3 on the 19th and 20th, this Monday and Tuesday, the material will be Units 5 and 6. We've talked about Unit 5. Unit 6 is very brief. It concerns the federal bureaucracy, which includes most all of the federal government's employees. Formally speaking, most of the bureaucracy is within the executive branch, but it is, of course, sometimes referred to as the 4th branch of government. Now, we discuss a couple things that we tried to achieve in Unit 6. We just wanted to lay out for you the many units of the federal bureaucracy, including the 15 cabinet-level departments and many, many other entities that are not part of any cabinet-level department, including independent agencies, independent regulatory commissions, government corporations. All right. Now, the latter part of those class notes deal with the difficulties presidents face in exercising political control over the bureaucracy. Okay, it's easy for bureaucrats, because the bureaucracy is so vast, to defy presidential orders, or at least presidential preferences, and do what they want to do rather than what the president would want to do. Now, this connects up with what you're reading for your final exam, because in addition to the Unit 5 and 6 class notes, we're assigning, once again, 4 articles, one of which has to do with Donald Trump's plans for the federal bureaucracy, should he get back in office beginning in January 2025, it would be, if he is elected again. Let's take very severe measures that would allow him to assert more direct control of the bureaucracy and get rid of anybody that he might suspect of trying to foil him. Okay, so take a look at that article from the NBCnews.com website. Then there were 3 articles pertaining to the presidency in the Unit 5 class notes. You have an article from Vox.com, and what's being discussed there is it's first of all argued that the president has had a streak of good results lately, but that hasn't really shown up in his approval ratings, the surveys that are taken of people in which they're asked, do you approve or disapprove of the job the president is doing? This article argues that Biden gets the blame when things go wrong, but doesn't get the credit when things are better. And now that connects up with what we were talking about in the class notes. That standing in the national opinion polls is considered an important component of the president's power. Whether people approve or disapprove of the job the president is doing, that kind of thing is watched very closely. And presidents maintain quite a public relations operation to try to get that approval rating as high as they can. Now, it's relatively low for Biden and has been since the first year of his presidency. There's more people who disapprove than approve. But the thing about it is, approval ratings for his potential opponent, Donald Trump, also are low. So perhaps that is not hurting Biden as much as it might otherwise. But according to the author of your article, you might think that the approval rating would be higher. Now, you have an article from the Washington Post about presidential power and the negotiations over the debt ceiling. Now, the article suggests that what Biden possibly could have done was simply ignore the debt ceiling and assert that the debt ceiling was unconstitutional, because there is a provision of the 14th Amendment that's never been tested in court that states that the validity of the debt to the United States is not to be questioned. Okay. Now, as a matter of fact, Biden didn't do that. A few days after that article was published, agreement was reached, and Congress finally passed legislation to raise the debt limit. But the article asks or suggests there's a tension or a conflict between Biden's desire to be bipartisan and, on the other hand, the pressure that's on him to assert his executive power to get things done, shall we say, over the dead bodies of the Republicans in Congress who might oppose him. Had Biden simply ignored the debt limit, would that be within his power as president? Okay. To take another example, Biden took an initiative to try to forgive some student debt and relieve some students of the onerous debt repayment payments they were having to make, some of them to some extent anyway. Did he really have power to do it? Well, he and his administration argue that there's a piece of legislation on the books that grants him that power, but arguably that is a little bit of a stretch. Okay. So, should Biden assert his executive power aggressively, or wait and try to be sure he's got legislative warrant from Congress to do what he wants to do? This is an ongoing question with regard to just how far the president's power goes, and you'll see that discussed in that article. Now, finally, you have an article about the number of candidates running for president. I got a announcement out about this in an email to everybody earlier this evening that you might have seen. I didn't know if you would get all the references that the author of that article made. But the point is, many people, public figures, think it behooves them to run for president, even if they don't have much of a chance. Because once they've been a candidate for a while, even if they get out and don't get very far, this could be a means to getting them a TV talk show, a book contract, or a lecture tour. So it incentivizes lots of people to run for president. Now, if you're opposed to Donald Trump, this becomes kind of a factor, because what happened the first time Trump ran in 2015 and 2016, many people believe what happened was so many people ran against him that they fractured the vote. And we know Trump tends to get between 30 and 40% of the vote in his back pocket once he's barely started out, or maybe more than 40%. So if the opposition is fractured, that makes it difficult to settle on one candidate in opposition to Trump who might possibly defeat him. He would rather run against 10 or 15 candidates than one or two strong opponents without anybody else getting in the race. So he thinks that many candidates in the field help him. In fact, when Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina announced he was running, Trump sent out a message congratulating him, perhaps trying to encourage as many people as possible to run, because that plays to Trump's advantage. All right. So 4 articles then, expect 15 or so of the items on the exam to be based on those, and the rest on the class notes for units 5 and 6. That'll be for exam 3 on Monday and Tuesday, the 19th and 20th. It'll be open for 48 hours. 50 items, true, false, and multiple choice, based mostly on the class notes for units 5 and 6, but 10 or 15 items on those readings that you were assigned. All right? Now, everybody, once the exam is over on Tuesday, Wednesday or so, I'll get another announcement out talking about our material for the final exam, beginning with Unit 7 on the Supreme Court. So look for that once the exam is over. I hope you'll take part in the discussion and study hard for the exam. Take it easy. Good luck on the exam. We'll talk to you again Wednesday or Thursday or so once exam 3 is over.